Yo, what's up?
Attention all mouth breathers, today I brought to you a new EDH deck, and it's going to solve a problem in this world. Now you got your crypto bros and big business corporations, they got this problem where their employees, they want this thing called minimum wage, affordable housing, a reasonable ransom of sorts. We can't have that here. Now there are a few of these called the Whistleblowers. Now they like to cause a ruckus and we don't like that. So what we do is that we give them a sugar mommy or a sugar daddy, make them emotionally dependent on them, and then when they inevitably cheat on the whistleblower, they become very unhappy. So our commander today is Kamiz Obscura Oculus. Now, she has one ability, but it is a very thick ability.
Oh, fuck.
Whenever you attack, you give a creature unblockable until a turn, and it connives, and you can see on the screen what it does. But after it connives, another creature with lesser power gains double strike until a turn. Now, this deck is suited up to where the only way to win is through threat assessment. You have to train yourself on how to assess threats, and it may be uncomfortable. You might get a couple opponents being like, I'm just a widow guy, I'm just a baby, I'm just a widow baby, I want milk. Well, they gotta learn that your deck doing the thing is winning, so they gotta fight back. It's just how Magic works, you know? So you got your threat assessments, so you can't really deal with everything at once because you're against 3 players. So what I devised after I bought the Precon 3 years ago, and then fully upgraded it to a recent Chord Strike, which I think is really cool, is that what if the removal spells become the threats? Oi! Look at that! Now you saved half of your mana, and now you can attack. Your Kamiz gives unblockable for free to any removal spell creature that you play. So that's what we're gonna do. This is a flash deck that I built, and it is based off of assessment threats, or threat assessment. Now ramp-wise, we don't run much ramp. We are low to the ground. We have like 9 2-mana rocks, so we can get like a turn 4 Kamiz, but even then, I always hold at least like 1 mana up for some protection. There's a lot of protection in this deck. The Iron Crag is a highlight though. It can turn into equipment, and I got a decent amount of legendary creatures, so it works out pretty well. So after you get your ramp, if you do, you don't even need ramp in this deck. What? Excuse me. You have your flash creatures and your pump creatures. Now your flash creatures come in all sorts and sizes. You got yourself your Dapper Snapper, the Snapcaster Mage. You got yourself the Vendilion Click, which you can target yourself, by the way, to filter a card. You got other cards like the Sigardian Vanguard or whatever her face is. She can give a bunch of creatures double strike until on a turn with different powers. And remember, it's not just your creatures. So if your opponent is swinging out at another guy, you can manipulate combat by that to either kill the opponent or make more creatures die. You know, we gotta deal with them whistleblowers. Some people are gonna take this seriously. It's a joke. But your pump creatures include Luminarch Aspirant and that Soldier Lord. It'll be on the screen. I don't remember the name. You also got Brina the Demagogue. She is a really, really good commander. I used to have a shadow deck with her actually. She's the biggest bird, you know. But another pump spell creature, or a lot of them, they grant double strike. So you got Duelist Heritage and the other guy, Silverblade Paladin. I think that's his name. Double strike is very important in this deck. And the highlight of this deck, her name is Sublime Archangel. It gives all your creatures exalted, so the single unblockable creature you attack with will get a bunch of power and toughness. Like, you don't even care about the double strike lesser power creature. You just go full Bessie with that one. Oh yeah, I forgot. I have a story about the Sublime Archangel that I bought. So I bought it for $1 because it was damaged, but then when I took it out of the sleeve, there was this on it, and I think it was glue, but I got that off immediately. It was weird. I used my glasses wipes. Like, Sublime Archangel became the finisher in my deck, but I guess someone else wanted that to be the finisher as well, if you know what I mean. Another pump spell is the Sword of Forge and Frontier. Now this is the only sword I could run in this deck because Kamiz targets creatures, and she can target herself, and I usually equip her with it. So protection from red and green is still viable. Excuse me. Another set of flash creatures include Counterspell creatures. You got your Fear of Imposters. I love the art in that one. What I like about Fear of Imposters is that you can play like a 0-drop or 1-drop and then counter your own spell to manifest Dread. And then on turn 4 you play Kamiz, give the Imposter unblockable, and then the manifest Dread double strike. And that is 8 damage on turn 4, which is pretty good. The way damage works in this deck is that you don't want to be dealing a lot of damage at once. You want to have consistent turns of like 8 to 12 damage so that your opponents will get a little mosquito bitten. But if they've watched Joey's EDH video, they'll know that they have to deal with the inevitable threats, which I'm also an inevitable threat, but I'm also a mosquito. So they get confused. Another flash creature included is the new Fairy, the 4/2 from Foundations. It's essentially Vidalcan Orrery, but on a creature, which works out insanely well with this deck. Her 4 power comes in very handy for unblockable stuff, and she gives all of your stuff... What am I? All your stuff flash. Got a notification there. Another flash creature that is new is the Enduring Courage. Now this is the GOAT of the deck. I used to run Bided of Thassa and stuff, but recently I've taken all those cards out in exchange for Enduring Courage and then Grazilax. Enduring Courage has flash, which is very amazing, and even if he dies, he sticks around. So you don't gotta worry about him dying, so he's a good blocker. One of the downsides of this deck is that it's not very good at blocking. So I do run Propaganda in, I think, Ghostly Prison. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the Kamiz card that I have is signed by Giancarlo Esposito, aka Gus Breaking Bad, Sussy Gussie, you know. And I painted that card, so I'm pretty proud of that. Met him at GalaxyCon, and I tried to do a fist bump with him, but I think I didn't get the reference to the movie he was trying to do, so it was a very awkward fist bump, and he jokingly went, "Aw, fuck off." It was a really funny moment, but I got his signature. What other things I need to talk about? Let me remember. There are a few non-creature removal spells, like, you know, you gotta have some, because sometimes creatures don't work. Now, all the counter spells I have in this deck cost 2 or less, unless they're creatures. I don't like running 3-mana counter spells in this deck, and I don't even run Counterspell itself. Instead, I run Delay. Delay is a very underrated card. Not only does it cost a less blue pip, so you can run it in more multicolored decks, but that Suspend 3 is a psychological weapon against your opponents. What? Excuse me. They're going to be seeing that timer tick down, and they're going to be like, we got to kill this motherfucker before he gets that back. So it blows some steam off of you. Blows, that's an interesting word. But the Delay counterspell, people should run that more. Another spell I run is Strict Serenade and that bird that counters enchantments, instants, and swords, Swan Song. Both of those are good because you can also like counter your own spell sometimes to get a dude, but usually you counter your opponent's stuff. Same with Arcane Denial, you can draw 3 cards for yourself if you counter like your Chalice. So that is another source of card advantage. Oh yeah, card advantage. I'm actually thinking of taking out Tima, the Weaver, because I'm running blue, so I can draw plenty of cards, and I don't actually really attack with Timna, and I don't like the life pay. This deck has a slight problem of keeping your life up. I used to run a lot of life gain cards, but it sort of devalued the deck and made it run more clunky, so I had to avert that. So instead, you could run Grazilax, which I have in here, the Enduring Courage. I took out Gix, I think. Yeah, I did take him out. Other cards include Teferi's Ageless Insight, or yeah, I think that's what it's called. That goes really well with Kamiz's attack ability. And another way, it's a unique way to keep your card advantage up, is a card called Master of Death. Now, you don't ever play this card. Actually, you sometimes do. It's got 3 power. You just use it as discard fodder for Kamiz. Like, you just keep bringing him back and then discarding, and you get to keep the card that you draw. It is very good. I don't run Archivist of Ogma because I don't own one. So that's another card advantage spell you could run. And yeah, that is a video. If you have any recommendations for this video, let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.